Which one do you want to review first?
I'll go with Common just because my experience of listening to this was like with my family driving around, and I didn't really get to sit and listen to it.
Okay.
So we could have a discussion about it and how I felt about the album. But I can't really get into like certain tracks I loved because I was just vibing, and I just don't feel, right if I just kind of like crap on this album and I know I didn't give it a proper listen that I should have. Been busy, man. I hate that I've been busy, and I know I got to do this. This is work as well, but I still could talk about it.
Yeah, so, I mean, Common and P-Rock's Auditorium Volume 1. This is supposedly not going to be their only album together. One, because they said Volume 1. But two, because they've said that they've been locked in. They've been doing their little promo run, going to these radio stations, doing the interviews like that. I've seen the Sway interview. I've seen the Matt Hoffa interview. I just haven't seen the Breakfast Club one, which came out today earlier.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And so, this is an album that we've been hyping up on this channel for a while now on this podcast. And I got to say that for me, I'll first listen because I listened to this Friday morning on my way to Houston. I was driving. I'm like, all right, I got to put that Common on. And like I told you, one of the tracks, the intro track on there, Dreaming. I heard that like a million times now. I even posted it on the Twitter page before the album came out. I'm like, what songs you been listening to the most this year? Dreaming was in one of them. And for him to open the album up, I'm like, this is beautiful because first of all, I love that song, Dreaming. I've heard it so many times with P-Rock. I've heard all the singles except for the latest one they put out last week, which was on the album called Fortunate. And so for me, I love the singles that they put up with Wise Up, the one that you sent me. I love that one. I loved Dreaming. To me, that's like an ode to like old, people who've passed. A lot of people in black culture, black music, mainly.
And a lot of people that that's also affiliated with Common and stuff, like bringing up Jay Dilla and all that. So.
Yeah, that song to me was just such a beautiful song. To me, that might be like one of my songs of the year.
Yeah, it kind of like paint the picture of like what you're gonna get from the album.
Yeah,
to me.
Yeah, and for me, I'm just like, to me, this album, and like I said, I've only done one listen of it so far, and I'm gonna do more listens to it because I've been saying this all the time on this podcast as we talk about this album. This might be my album of the year. To me, this is the real one time that I've heard a full album of just Pete Rock's production. And oh my gosh, B. This is some of the best production I've heard this year.
Yeah.
And these type of guys usually ain't my guys like that. But I could definitely see how he influenced a generation of artists.
Rock, man.
Pete Rock and DJ Premier, they were them guys back then. I'm pretty sure. I don't really listen to a lot of Pete Rock stuff just in general.
Check out CL Smooth and stuff, man. Check out some of his soul survival.
Is he actually rapping on there, or is he just producing?
He producing. He do a little rap sometimes.
He rapped on the album.
I love how he sound on that beat too, bro.
It was cool. I think he was the weakest feature, but I'm not knocking that. I'm not knocking that
against
him.
Pete
I'm
Rock,
just saying I'm not knocking that against him. I'm just spitting truth.
Oh my god!
I'm not saying
I liked how he sound on there, bro.
I just say he's the weakest one.
And then him getting back on the mic, that was kind of dope.
Pasta Noose was on here, and I don't like old. Was it De La Soul stuff?
Yeah.
But modern De La Soul stuff, whenever I hear Pasta Noose, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in there. I'm like, you got me. Because you are rapping right now.
Yes, sir.
And so, there's only a few features on this album. With The Law.
Yeah, he's singing. Jennifer Hudson singing.
Yeah. Pete Rock, obviously, even though he's part of the album, but he still is featured as a feature credit.
PJ, was he singing on that song? Yeah, that's the song where Pete Rock was rapping in.
Yeah. And so, overall for me, I want this to be my album of the year, but I can't give it that yet because I haven't given enough.
You want to get it more listens.
I don't want to glaze it like that and be like, oh yeah, album of the year on first listen. I'm not Twitter. This isn't Twitter. This is real life right now. Yeah. And so for me, I got to give this some more listens. While Blue Lips is my favorite, I could definitely see this overtaking it. Yeah. Because just on first listen, I enjoyed this so much. Yeah. I enjoyed the production. I didn't get all the references, but I like some of the sampling. The lush just really
sounded
nice.
It sounded really good.
The soundscape, it just sounded so elegant.
What was so dope about like you bringing up like how the sound and seeing this album cover, and you get like this old like theater, like this picture that makes you feel like something like grand, like in Harlem, like everybody gold dressed all nice, and it just sounds so beautiful. That's what I got from this album, bro. Like from my first listen, just like, this sounds great.
Same. I felt, to me, this is like one of the most positive albums I've heard in a long while. I mean, he's also talking about black culture, where he comes from, Chicago. He's talking nicely about people. He's not really talking about like sex and guns like that, unless he's talking negatively about that. Like, y'all shouldn't be doing that, which, I mean, I guess is positively kind of.
Yeah.
But overall, to me, man, Common was rapping on this album. Yeah. And obviously, I wasn't able to dissect each and every single bar and be like, I caught that. But I know one song he said, he was like, I don't need no foreplay to get my grind on. I'm like, okay. Yeah. And that was on the song about Chicago and all that. Sampling Kanye's All Falls Down, and Kanye's voice on there as well. I'm just like, Pete Rock, man, some of these samples you're doing, some of this production that you're really giving Common, I could see this being potentially a top 5 Common album with more listens. This is a grown man album. This is in the grown man section of hip hop, along with Nas and Lil Brother, along with that sector of like grown man hip hop, 444 by Jay-Z. This is part of that sector right there. And man, it's like our MCs are really aging gracefully.
This right here felt like the soul back in hip hop right here. It just felt just the soul, like just so black, you know what I mean? And like I said, my experience was just driving around, not really getting to pay attention to most of the lyrics, but mostly the production is what really grabbed me. Like, ooh, I like this. And Common sounded so good on this. Like I'm telling you, one of my favorite features ever from Common is from a Pete Rock project, bro. So like him and Pete together, like I just think they just make great music, bro. I think they both inspire each other. And I know Pete, I think he's still, let me see, what's the last like collaboration project he did with anybody? Did he put out anything, or let me look real quick. Yeah, I don't know. Nah, he just put out his little thing by himself, bro. Like I don't see nothing him collaborating with people besides. Oh yeah, the freaking Don't Smoke Rap. Yeah, I remember that was Smoke Dizzle. That was back.
I was supposed to listen to that one, but I keep forgetting to.
Yeah, that was back in. Yeah, that was 2016. Yeah, man, I remember that. But yeah, I used to have all the like Instrumentals joints, man. Like, oh yeah, bro, come on, man. This is just classic right here, bro. I remember all
some of
this,
that stuff actually re-released on vinyl.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it did. But nah, bro. Pete Rock, bro, just a legend. Him, CL Smooth, even with that production, bro, you got to go back.
I need to, but I'm just scared sometimes.
One thing I can say about this album, yes, it's a long album to me. Like, I thought I was expecting like a shorter 40-minute album, to be honest with you. I did not expect the hour. I did not expect the hour. But not saying it's bad. It's a good album. I need to give it more listens to really get my really good critique on it and how I really feel about it. But hey, it sounds great in the car.
This bumps. This is some luxurious.
Yeah, is that a good?
I need a Mercedes or a Benz.
Yeah,
I need to feel elegant when I listen to this.
And like what I'm saying, Common was rapping, bro. I wish I had time. Like today, I wanted to listen to it, but I was too deep in work, bro. I couldn't even think.
I understand. I want to give it some more listens too. This is mainly our first impressions of the album. But man, I really enjoyed this. I'm definitely gonna give this some more listens. I'm gonna run back to this. I don't really have many discographies to go through now, so I'm like, okay, I gotta run this back a few more times because this
just from like my experience with it, I think it's gonna be probably my end of the year list. Same. Maybe high, but yeah.
To me, this album it has that classic that timeless production for me. Whereas like you can hear it and you can't tell like when it came out. Yeah. Like it's one of those type of albums for me. And for me, stuff like that, stuff like B, I'm just like, man, even though B kind of not dated, but you can kind of tell where it was produced. I mean, when it was produced. But yeah, this album right here, I'm just like, I couldn't tell when this was produced if I would just like to take the gear off of this. So yeah, overall, man, Pete Rock and Common did their thing. I gotta give it some more listens. Definitely not a whack project though. No. Far from a whack project.
You heard some people saying whack?
So this weekend, and I guess this will be part of the album review, I see some people comparing this to Nas.
Oh yeah, I saw those saying that this wiped out his whole little thing, like it was better than it or something like that, right?
With Hit Boy, or they'll say like, oh yeah, Common has always been on Nas level. I'm just like, recency bias at its finest, B?
Very, because like I'm being honest, like I like Common, but I hate his voice sometimes. Bro, I do. Like sometimes Common voice, I'll be like, I don't like how he say something like, I don't like that. It don't sound right.
Yeah, to me, sometimes, I don't want to say off kilter, but it's the way he says it. Yeah. And so sometimes it's like he tries to make his own flow on the beat when you off the rhythm. Yeah. But for me, I will say this. Common is now in that tier of like, he didn't age horribly. He aged gracefully, and he could still show that he can adapt, even though he was never like a washed rapper or anything like that.
It's just some of those last few albums he put out was...
Yeah, but now since he's come out with an album recently, just like how Nas has, it shows that he can still rap to a high degree or high level. Now, am I going to ever compare him to Nas? No. He even had an interview recently this weekend that came out saying like how he heard Nas's Illmatic early, and that made him rewrite all of Resurrection.
Yeah, Miss Info gave him the copy. Yeah, I saw that.
And so that interview came out. People was like, "Oh, how y'all gonna say that he's on Nas's level when he had to rewrite his whole album Resurrection because he heard Nas?" And I'm just like.
You saw that clip of him and Nas all together, and somebody gave him a picture of them when they were young. He was like, "Damn, this is me and Nas like 20 plus years ago." It was like they were young, like Nas. You see Common with the hat like this, and he just like Did you see Nas?
No, I think I might need to see that.
Yeah, it was hilarious, bro. He like, dang, look at this, yo. You know how they beat them old
Yeah.
heads. Yo, man, look at this, yo.
Yo,
This is
they
crazy.
stretched that yo out. Pause.
Yo, this is crazy. So, y'all knew he said it ain't that crazy.
Facts. How'd you even get this?
They
Act like technology ain't exist back then.
I saw this pic. I saw this pic on Tumblr like years ago. I had this.
Like, did they preserve that or anything?
He's like, bro, you never saw this? Like, I seen this like 10 years ago, bro. Oh my God.
Man. But yeah, people will try to break up Nas and comparing him and Common. I'm just like, I get what y'all trying to do. Stop it.
Yeah,
Get some help. Nas is in a tier of his own.
And I think when Common and Pete drop like, I don't know, volume 1 to 3, I think there could be some conversations on the later end of their career when it comes to that run. But I wouldn't say, full career Nas. I wouldn't do that. But I'm talking about if they want to do this later end run and see what Pete and Common can do compared to what Nas did with Hit, we can see.
I did see one thing on Twitter though. They was like, okay, Common and Pete Rock dropped. Nas, DJ Premier, you're on the clock. Nas just dropped 6 albums in 3 years ago. That's the most consistent he's ever been.
Yeah, Nas right now is in his freaking entrepreneur bag. He's getting his stuff.
Mass appeal.
He's doing his stuff with that mass appeal. Even like he owns like restaurants, shoe freaking stores, all type of stuff. Nas be in his bag, bro. He got
trying to catch up to Jay-Z?
He got a lot of catching up to.
Hey, he rock fellas. I rock H-words.
He gotta catch up with that Tabo ho. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. First listen. I'm many more listens that's coming, and so far, I give it's a good album to me, man. So.
Yeah, I agree. Great album for me.
Yeah.
Just off a first listen, but I can't really say like what my rating of the album is so far. But
right.
off of my initial listen, I fully enjoyed this album.
We maybe can speak more into it like an hour what we listen to next week or something. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm gonna do because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna listen to that more. So.